Hello, my name is Micah. This is a quick tutorial on how to create angry brass sounds in BBC Symphony Orchestra. The orchestra has a great sound, but is often criticized for not sounding loud enough, and certainly from a brass standpoint for not going that extra level. The purpose of this tutorial is to show how to create those angry brass sounds like this. Still having sufficient control to do dynamics like this. Okay, first step, let's choose our instruments and our mic settings. We're going to be working with the bass trombone, tenor trombone, tuba, and counterbass trombone. We'll run them through the Mix 1 mic setting, which is the more classical mic setting and not hyped. Here's how that sounds with just a little bit of splosh for reverb. That's a great full rich tone. Notice the dynamics using the mod wheel, really able to get that nice and quiet to nice and loud. Let's start to look at the more loud parts and things that we can do to add to the depth and breadth of that sound. So for long tones, we're actually going to layer the long and the cuivre and the marcato articulations. That's great. And for shorts, we'll do marcatos and staccatos. So that's a good confident sound. That's a good assertive sound. I don't know if I'd call that an angry sound. Let's consider the next example, then I'll explain how I did it. Okay, so I think that you'd agree that the end of that example definitely gets into in-your-face territory. The brass goes from being maybe a little friendly to a little ominous to definitely angry brass by the end of that example. So how did we do that? We were able to take the dynamics of the instruments and the mic settings that we had and the articulations, and that could take us so far. But then really taking it to that next level really requires some sound design. Logic gives us a set of plugins that we can use to definitely help with this. So what I did is I set up a send channel and made sure that I had all the instruments routing through it. And on this send channel, I've added 4 different plugins. One is channel EQ, normal EQ, smiley face EQ here, but really kicking up the high end a little bit. Brass players, when they play loud, there's a lot more harmonic overtones on their sound, so you can exaggerate that a little bit by adding to the high end. Then also if you're taking that exaggeration and then you're applying some distortion to it, that really gets you into angry territory. So I'm using the Fat Effects plugin here with some distortion in terms of additional drive through the filter, through the distortion, and then putting it through some nice compression. And then taking that now sort of a little bit fuzzier brass sound and running that through another channel, EQ. Again, smiley face, kicking up the high end even more. And then finally running that through an overdrive. Again, here isn't to really squash the tone, so I've really increased the tone up to almost 20K. Kicked up the drive a little bit, kicked up the output a little bit, and that definitely helps sort of blend it all together into a nice, angry tone. Since we've configured all these plugins on a send, then we can automate the send, either the individual plugins or the volume of the send itself. So we can keep it at -infinity and then raise it to correspond to the amount of angriness that we want to set. And we can do that all through automation, as we see here. So if you're composing with BBC Symphony Orchestra, maybe working on more of a hybrid track, where you want to be able to have brass that sound a little bit more of that modern, edgy tone that we hear in trailers so much. Hopefully this has been helpful. So to get that sound, first you want to choose your instruments wisely, and then focus on a set of mic settings that give you a nice full tone, then add the articulations that give you the depth and breadth to the sound that you want, and then work with sound design on a send channel so that you can automate that has the appropriate level of EQ and distortion to get the effect that you want. I hope this has been helpful. There's a Logic file posted in the comments below without all the voiceovers, but has all the examples that you heard. If you have any comments or questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment area below. And if you like this, give me a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. And also subscribe for future updates. Thank you.